I absolutely love rice noodles. They're soft and tender, and especially with beef and gravy, and it just absorbs into those noodles. It's just like a delightful bite in my mouth every single time. Hey everyone, I'm Flo, Dude is behind the camera, and we're all about simple food, simple faith. Today we're making a very simple and easy beef over rice noodle that is loosely based on one of the recipes in the new Friends cookbook. The publishers sent me a pre-release copy, and I'm just so happy to share this with you. This is not in any way a sponsored post, but I just love Friends. I'm starting with 3/4 pound of flank steak. I'm just going to cut this down and cut it into thin slices. You want to cut flank steak across the grain. The recipe in the Friends cookbook is made with lamb, and I'm not a big fan of lamb, sorry, but I'm not. So I am using beef, but I've also adapted the recipe because there's a lot of ingredients that were used in the lamb recipe that goes with the lamb and would not go with beef. So this is seriously a very simplified version of this recipe. We are starting off with 2 tablespoons of dark soy, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, and we're just going to stir this up and let it marinate while we prepare the rest of the ingredients. Okay, just have a tiny nub of ginger. It is not a thumb size. It's probably the size of my pinky, maybe a little bit smaller. Anyways, it's about 1 teaspoon that we're going to use of grated ginger, 1 clove of garlic, and I'm just going to grate this as well, since I have the grater out. Otherwise, I would normally use my garlic press, or you can even chop it up if you like. It doesn't really matter. It's all going to taste the same. I did put the garlic and ginger in the same dish because I'm just going to toss it all in the wok at the same time. I'm also going to chop up some cilantro. This will probably end up to be about 1/4 cup of chopped cilantro, and you just want to roughly chop it up. All right, maybe it's more than 1/4 cup, more like 1/2 cup. But you can use as much or as little as you like. I'm using fresh rice noodles. These can be found in the supermarket. Usually in an Asian supermarket, you would have no problem finding this in the refrigerated section. They also, well, Hans is from Vancouver, so you can actually get it from Hans directly. But I tried looking for a dried version of this, and I haven't been able to find like these wide rice noodles that are dried. There are dried rice noodles that might be thinner, and perhaps you can use those if you can't find the fresh. But fresh is always way better than the dried, just saying. And when they're really fresh, you don't even have to do this part. But because these were refrigerated, they have become quite hard. And you can't just toss this into your wok to fry up. Believe me, I've tried. And they don't break up at all. It just becomes a big old mess, and then it's just like not really great to eat. So they're already cut, and I'm just gonna break it up into the segments. And you can either blanch them or stick them in the microwave. So I'm just gonna stick them in the microwave for a couple of minutes, just to kind of heat it through so they're not so hard. I will almost always choose these rice noodles over any noodles if we go to a Cantonese noodle house. I will even choose to have these noodles with laksa, which I'm sure most Malaysians would be completely appalled by my choice of noodles for laksa.
Abomination.
So this is what it'll look like. You don't have to separate every single noodle from each other, but we're just gonna stick this in the microwave for about 2 minutes, just heat it through, and we're going to cook up the beef. This will be hot, beef will be hot, and we're just gonna mix it together. The original recipe was inspired by the episode where Joey and Chandler have one final evening together before Chandler moves in with Monica. And for some reason, Joey thinks that Chinese food is the food of Chandler's people. So heating up the wok. Let's try not to smoke out the apartment today, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, as soon as your wok is heated up or a large frying pan, add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And we're going to put in our beef. Try to not put in all the juices, just the beef. And I can't believe I forgot to put in the ginger and garlic. So I'm just gonna throw that in here on the side and get that going. You wanna put the garlic and ginger in first, then the beef. Too excited. This won't take long. Beef is really quick to cook. Okay, move the beef to the side. It's almost completely cooked. I'm just gonna add the juices from the bowl. And maybe just a couple tablespoons of water so that we get a gravy. All right, and then once the noodles are heated through, just add them to the beef. Just make sure all the gravy is mixed in well with the noodles. Okay, and then we're gonna turn off the heat, add our cilantro. Okay, then just toss that all together. Make sure the cilantro is also well mixed in there. Are you all ready for?
Yep. Oh, so good. This looks amazing. And in the age of not going out to the restaurant to eat, Flo, you are like bringing it home with these dishes. And a little backstory about Friends is that after the series concluded, at some point after that, I thought it would be like a great gesture of mine to buy Flo the entire series on DVD, which she watched none of. Let's get at this food. So just to let you know, my chopsticks are clean. They haven't been in my mouth yet. Let's do this beef. Yeah, I'm really impressed with how the marinade, well, how long were you marinating the meat for? Like 10 minutes?
Yeah, maybe.
It doesn't take long for that marinade to work its way through the flank steak. So, I don't know, it's pretty good stuff. Really tasty, and the beef is really tender. Such a change of state from when you took the rice noodles out of the packaging. It looked stiff and not really edible. And after warming it up, and well, of course combining it with a great gravy, great sauce. Usually use the word reanimate when you talk about zombies, but it really does bring it back. And it's soft, and it takes on the sauce and the flavors, and it combines all together. So good.
Great. Thanks, dude. I have just a super fondness for Friends. I stayed home every Thursday night to watch must-see TV, and my favorite memory actually is of living in Toronto and watching Friends on Thursday nights with my friend Jenny, who used to come over every Thursday, and we would share a whole lemon meringue pie, the two of us, and just watch Friends. If you're a fan of Friends, this cookbook is a super fun read. They are releasing it on September 22nd, and you can pre-order the book. We'll put a link in the description below. And for more simple recipes just like this one, I will see you over there.